There's no doubt that without your support, I wouldn't be here today. As an adult, looking back at a lifetime of soccer involvement, I'm humbled by your willingness and ability to give me the opportunities that I've had with soccer. As one of 5 and then 6 kids, I can't help but feel a little guilty about the amount of time, money, and energy that was put into allowing me to play the game. And it wasn't because you wanted me to be the best player or get a good scholarship or play professionally. It was just because I love to play. And I'll always be grateful to you guys for your quiet encouragement and lack of pressure about the game. You allowed me to play for fun, and it always was. Now that I'm a mother myself, I hope that I can also provide the same support for my children in whatever their interests may be, as long as it's soccer. Like Dad said, I started playing pretty young. I think it was 5 or 6. And the first 10 years that I played, it was right around the time when soccer was kind of blowing up in this country. People were actually playing. I was always very proud to call myself a soccer player, and I often used it as part of how I defined myself. And I had a good amount of success as a player, but I always had this nagging feeling that I wasn't really very good. My stats were good, I made it onto some good teams, but I always felt like I was hiding this little secret and somebody was going to call me on the fact that I wasn't a really skilled player. It really bothered me, not just because I wanted to be a good player, but because I also like to think of myself as a confident person, someone who believes in herself and her abilities, and I didn't always feel that way about soccer. So when it came time for me to head off to college, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I had changed my mind at the last minute from thinking that I wanted to go to a big state school where I wouldn't be playing soccer, to coming to EMU where I would be. I think my campus visit was in early June, a few days before my high school graduation. And I'm not really sure what made me switch, what made me change my mind, whether it was some divine guidance or my realization of how much soccer really meant to me and how much I wanted that to be a part of my life. But I remember Jason Moore, who became my assistant coach that next fall, showing me around campus. And just walking across the main lawn, it just felt like where I was supposed to be. And I'll never forget cramming all of my junk into a 1989 Ford Tempo and heading for Virginia with Rochelle Yoder, the incoming freshman goalie and fellow Midwesterner. The next day we rolled into Harrisonburg, we stopped for some lunch, and we immediately got lost. Eventually showing up late for our first team meeting in the Discipleship Center. I had no idea when I walked in that I was about to meet Ruth, who almost immediately became the best friend I've ever had, and eventually the godmother of my beautiful twin girls. I had no idea that a few hours later, I'd meet Io, who would take me a little bit longer to really appreciate, but who now is a friend that I can't imagine a life without, and he's the godfather of my children. And I had no idea that a few minutes after meeting Io, I'd meet his best friend, Kurt, fall deeply in love and spend the rest of my life. That was a pretty good day for me. But beyond those individuals, I also had no idea of what this campus and the women's soccer team in particular would come to mean to me. The coaching pair of Greg and Jason was a surprisingly nice fit for me. Jason seemed very similar in personality and style of play to me, so I could relate to him very easily. Greg and I seemed very different, but his calm intensity gave me a deep confidence in him, and he taught me a lot. In my 4 years on that team, I went through so many highs and lows, victories and devastating losses, spiritual awakenings and some really dark times, record-setting games and game after scoreless game in my sophomore slump, 3 knee surgeries and the loss of a grandparent. And all that time, most of that time, my family was pretty far away. But every time something good happened to me, whether it was in season or out of season, my team was there. And every time something bad happened to me, no matter what time of year it was, my team was there. Through my 4 years as a member of that team, I met dozens of incredible women. Smart women, beautiful women, strong women, phenomenal women. And you know what? These smart, beautiful, strong, phenomenal women, they believed in me. And so after time, I began to make peace with my inner doubt and come to understand that not only is it okay not to be the best player on the pitch, but it's okay to doubt yourself. It's okay to feel weak. And it's okay to ask for help. Because I've found that it's often at those times that you don't believe in yourself, that God surrounds you with the people who will believe in you for you, and people who will lift you up to do great things. So, to the EMU community that cheered for our wins and our losses, and the training staff who cared for my many, many wounds, to my coaches who continued to put me on the field believing that I could make a difference, and to the phenomenal women that I was lucky enough to play alongside, who passed me ball after ball after ball, believing in me day after day, I thank you. I'm standing here today because you all believed in me.